Hello everyone and welcome to this week's vlog. We are going to speak about the Bready seminar. What it is, what purpose does it serve, how you go about teaching it, and some tips and tricks that you might find useful when you teach the Bready seminar. So, let us begin. So, the Bready seminar. What is the purpose of the Bready seminar? Firstly, it takes place on a Wednesday and a Friday. Wednesday for the higher level Breadies at 12, and Fridays for the lower level Breadies also at 12. So why have these seminars? They are there to introduce new topics, relevant topics to the Breadies that they would normally not get in the classroom, and the buddy then goes through this topic and introduces it and does various things. The purposes are twofold. Obviously, the Breadies get exposure to new information, and then secondly, we usually use a new buddy to present the topic of the week. The reason why we use a new buddy is because it will give them exposure to the classroom environment and also give them exposure to students who might then book them in the future for one-on-one lessons. How is the seminar different from a normal lesson? In our normal lessons, we have one-on-one, so we speak to the Bready on an individual basis. This, however, is not the case with the Bready seminar. With a Bready seminar, there's usually about 20 to 25 of them in one classroom. So that is a lot of them at the same time. So how do you then go about teaching 25 of them in the same time? Well, in our next part, we get to the logistics of the situation of the Bready seminar. So, now to the logistics. If we take a look at this insert of the classroom, you will see that the classroom environment is exactly the same. What is different though is that in this picture, even though you normally have one Bready which you can see on the camera, you now have at the bottom, you'll see a section with just camera shots of the different Breadies. So this gives you an idea of how many of them attends the classes. In the classroom, you will have an assistant, usually Daniel or Abigail, who cycles through the various pictures that you can see on camera. The other thing that you will notice is different from the classroom is that the entire lesson is in multiple choice format, and a little bit later on I will show you how to use this tool within the classroom environment to interact with the Breadies. The thing, as I mentioned earlier on, is you will do all the talking. So you don't have actual responses from the Breadies. They have a section, they will type either answers in the chat box, or when you go through it, occasionally you can pick one and ask them a question, usually a very simple yes or no question. In this way, they also feel that they are interacting with the lesson. Another thing that I tend to do while teaching is to acknowledge the different Breadies in the classroom. So I will say, for example, "Oh, that's a good answer, well done," and use the student's name. And as we are cycling through the lessons at normal speed and the camera angle changes, or the people that you see on the camera changes, I will usually, while I'm speaking, acknowledge them and say, "Hello Chen Chen, hello Miffy, hello Sue." just to give the Bready an indication that you are actually paying attention and watching what they are doing on the screen. Here we are in the classroom environment. As with CGE, what happens is that Sarah will send you the link and the topic that you're speaking about in the Bready seminar. This usually takes place about a week before the time, so that it gives you enough time to prepare. You will go through the normal process, you will add the courseware and choose the file that you wish to upload. She will also send you some media files that go with it that you will then have to upload. So you then decide when you're going through your lesson when you are going to use which media files. So how is this lesson different from a normal lesson? I'm going to start the class. So firstly, as I said earlier, this is different in that the section on the right, just below where you are on the screen, is completely for the chat box. This area at the bottom, I'm going to put it over here, is where you will see all the different Breadies on camera. Daniel or Abigail usually cycles through them so that at any given point in time you see 5 of them on screen. This gives you an indication of what they are doing and how they are responding. How is this different from the normal seminar? Firstly, you speak on your own for the entire time. So there's no real interaction except for what happens in the text box or the people that you see at the bottom of your screen. A good tip to have is for you to keep track of the different buddies and acknowledge them. So I would say, for example, hello Miffy, hello Chen Chen, hello Sing, how are you doing? And wave at them on the screen. This makes them think or allows them to know that you are taking notice of them. The other thing about the seminar is that it has like this introduction slide. It will show you what is British food. You say British food is liked by people in Britain. The difference then is when we go to the next slide. They then have the occasion to answer this question, and you will ask them, okay, what is British food? Is it food liked by people in China? Food liked by people in Britain? Food liked by people in France? Then on the top right hand side of your screen, you have an answer tool. In this case, it brings up what answer you want them to select. Because we only have A, B, and C, I can take D away by clicking on the minus sign and then choose the correct answer. I click on Start Answer, and what will then happen is that the Breadies will indicate on this section which is the correct answer, and the counter will go up. When you have completed it, you simply click on End Answer, close the little box, and carry on with your lesson. There on the next slide, it will give you the answer. An important thing to do is that you praise them and say, great job. You can follow in the chat box to see who is doing what and who has given the wrong answer or who has given the right answer in this case. So this is what our classroom environment looks like. Again, you then move on to your slides and keep speaking continuously. This is the part, of course, that I found the most difficult. So in our next section, I will give you some tips and tricks to speak through the classroom environment. So, in conclusion, what tips can you find useful for the Bready seminar? My first one is, of course, be in control. It is vital that you know exactly what happens on each slide so that there are no quiet moments. When I prepare for the lesson, I know exactly where I'm going to use which media slide. It's probably not a good idea to play all the media slides at the beginning of the lesson. This way, you give yourself a break from speaking continuously. So, you need to know exactly what is happening in which slide and at which part of the lesson. So you are able to pace yourself. Secondly, pace yourself. Be aware of the speed at which you're speaking. That is very vital. If you're dealing with a lower level seminar, you know that the Breadies will have some difficulty understanding. So when you pace your language and you pace your word speed, they can still follow. The last tip that I have is acknowledge the Bready. Now, what is important about this? They have to know that you are aware of them. A wave in one direction, or a hello, hello Chen, hello Singh, hello Muffy, a well done generally will make them aware that you are taking notice of them and you are not just this person that is out there speaking in isolation. And lastly, have fun. It is very important to enjoy yourself. As I always say, if you are relaxed, that will communicate itself to the Bready and they will have fun as well. So that's all for this week. Thank you for joining me. I will see you again next week. Goodbye.